Welcome to the Prophecy Club. I was preparing one message and I kept getting a yawn. And then I thought, okay, well, let's go to this one. And I started getting a yawn in that one too. And I thought, okay, finally, all right, Lord, what do you want to say? And I started going through your emails, thank you very much, and scanning websites. And all of a sudden, when I ran across this particular one, all of a sudden the anointing touched me very powerfully, very strong, and I absolutely positively know that this is the message that he wants me to bring today. Now, I know that if you watch us a lot, you're going to say, yeah, but through the years, I've heard most of the stuff you've been saying. Well, there's a lot of stuff that we've said over the years, but the point is, in that I got a very strong anointing touch with this particular topic today, may mean that it's just around the corner. And for lots of reasons, we could think that it probably is. So our topic is purchase non-perishable foods now. That's the title of a dream that I'm about to read to you. Now, before I do that, let me tell you that this is the once-a-year time that we ask our supporters to reach out and support us. And what we're asking for is $77,000. That's our goal. And what we want to do is spend that on social media advertising. Yeah, I know you're going to say, wait a minute, social media doesn't cost anything. No, it doesn't. But you can get on social media and no one will hear you unless you advertise. It's the advertising that brings in people. Like, for example, when Prophecy Club was doing really good just before they deleted our channel on one of the platforms, we were spending $5,000 a month in advertising. We were bringing in 2,500 to 2,800 new subscribers a month from that advertising. And we really need to get back to that again. And so our staff has got together and we've decided that we need to set a goal of $77,000 raised so that come January 1, we don't want to do it during the holidays, come January 1, we can begin to start advertising on not just one, but several platforms so that we can reach more people. That's sad to say, that's what you have to do. You just got to spend money to find people to win to the Lord. And on the bottom of this particular letter that we have just mailed out, we've also emailed it, both by paper and also in emails, there is a QR code. And I'm asking our editor to stick the QR code in right here so that you can click on that. So you just aim your camera at that QR code and it'll take you in and you can make a very simple, easy donation. And we only do this once a year. So if you are looking for another tax deduction before the end of 2023, this would be a very good place to put it. And if you believe in Prophecy Club, you believe in some of the things we're trying to do, now would be a very good time. Help us reach that $77,000 goal. Now, I know a lot of people, a lot of ministries, they'll ask for, send $5, send $10. No, I know there's some of you out there, you can send $10,000. That doesn't bother. So it may be that a few people could just send the whole $77,000 and not even blink. It wouldn't even be a problem. It wouldn't even hurt. So I'm not suggesting a number. I'm suggesting that you listen here. What is here? What is the Lord saying for you to do? Because that's what we want. We want to be pleasing in His eyes. Because we know when we give, God is just going to return it. Either in this life, and I believe in this life, and in the next one too. You can't outgive God. I believe that there's a lot of people right now that the Lord is speaking to your heart right now on how much to give, and it's not just $5 or $10. It's a pretty good donation because you want a lot of people to hear this warning. Okay, let's get into what we're talking about today. So this was the one that I ran across when I was looking through several of the prophecies out there, that the anointing touched me very strong. Absolutely. This is the topic. Put this lady on. Okay, so this is back in January 2022. And Bonnie Jones, she says, I was in sound sleep. The Lord woke me up and began speaking to me and saying, there's going to be a downfall of the economy. We know that. We know that come January 1, 24. We know that's coming. Going to be a downfall of the economy. Purchase non-perishable foods now. And the anointing touched me very strong, so here I am. I'm trying to please the Lord like you're trying to please the Lord. Then this one, and this is the way it is a lot of times. As I'm going through this, he starts bringing prophecies to my memory. This is the next one that he brought to my memory. This is Coverstone. In the dream, it was a clear night with a full moon. I was walking down a wet road in the middle of the desert. There were 4 digital billboards, and I believe that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4, the order of events that we're looking for. So if you want to know the things that are coming, this is a really good one to direct us. There were 4 digital billboards, 2 on each side, about 25 feet apart. Each had a roof protecting them from the drizzling rain. Wolves were howling. Now, I'm going to do a summarized version. The first video saw a grocery store with armed soldiers standing guard out front. That's not the first one. We had another lady back in, 10 years ago. And I started to pull that one up, but I thought, nah, I can't even cover everything I want to cover today anyway. But she also saw people that were only, so many people go inside. They were only given like 30 minutes to shop, and it was very, very limited. Only 5 people allowed in at a time, sound like what she saw too. Second scene was people in a green marked van, marked corner in blue letters, pulled up, and I'm skipping part of that part, but it's another picture of a pandemic. So before the pandemic, we would see a food shortage. And then the third step would be martial law, lockdowns, no gasoline. Pastor Massey saw there's going to be no gasoline. The third video was reported saying both East and West Coast are under FEMA management due to inclement weather patterns that had destroyed some major interstates and roads. Okay, that's not a surprise. We got a lot of prophecies on that. Directions for the church. Now, here's the point. The angel that comes to Coverstone said, "Where are the Pentecostals full of fire, spirit, and faith? I need you to be full of my fire." You know, that's really the point of this. We're not just trying to live to the end. We're not just trying to survive ourselves. We're trying to win souls. And that's really the whole point. But it starts with, what it's saying is there's a food shortage, then there's another pandemic, then there's martial law, no gasoline, and then finally there's going to be a revival. But he's saying if you want to be a part of that revival, you got to be close to the Lord. You got to be on fire. January 2021, Leslie says, I saw a lot of people who represented the church in this dream. They were in an amusement park. Everything was fun, but they started getting very, very hungry. That sounds about like right today, doesn't it? All the restaurants and food availability was gone. In other words, the restaurants closed because they didn't get any food. They were not able to get the food at the amusement park, so they started leaving in droves. But when they left without their shoes. They were all barefoot and very hungry. That's a scene we have not seen in our lifetimes, but that's not the first one or the only one that has described that same scene. They were all looking for food, begging for even one piece of bread. Now, this is 2021. This is before God had me start Joseph Kitchen. So I think it's very interesting. He's saying bread. And I think bread is the thing that we primarily need to eat in life. David Phillips, 21. I dreamed we were eating at a restaurant with friends and everyone was having a good time. See, that's what she said too. The waitress said they accidentally gave us the wrong menu, saying that food should be more expensive, but since it was their mistake, they would honor the lower prices, so we were getting better prices. She also meaning that prices are going to start going up on food. Yeah, I know they've gone up, but they haven't gone up anything like what they're about to. She also said they were low on some of the food items, such as chocolate. We were annoyed picking other items instead, and the staff was working hard trying to please and keep the business running. We began to watch the movie showing outside. Halfway through it, it was abruptly turned off. Everything went dark. The restaurant announced that they were closing right now, immediately, and asked everyone to get up and walk out, saying they would be closed for 6 months. Isn't that telling us that the food shortage is going to last 6 months? Isn't it telling us that there's not any warning? All of a sudden, boom, there's a food shortage, get up and walk out now. David Phillips again, 21. I had a dream that my family went on a vacation. Rampant inflation started. Rampant inflation has not started yet. Yeah, it's gone up a little bit, but it's not inflation. It's not rampant. It was like we were living in the Old West. One person was selling Ritz crackers individually, $1,000 per cracker. In other words, the dollar is pretty close to worthless. The main thing that people wanted? Food. People had no money. They were bartering for food. Same thing Coverstone saw. People would steal anything they could to get their hands on, even out in the open, and they were willing to risk extreme danger for it. The single most important item? Food supplies, especially non-refrigerated foods. I'm going to suggest you go to josephkitchen.com. Now, in case you don't know the story, let me tell you. So I ordered, somebody said, here's the story how it started. Somebody sent me this video, this lady talking at the church, talking about the wonderful merits of eating whole wheat bread. I thought, well, actually, I've never tasted whole wheat bread. I mean, where you get the wheat berries and you grind it to flour, make your own whole wheat. I've never tasted that. And I thought, okay, fine, I'll try it. And we got some. I made some bread, and Leslie liked it. And she said, well, if you're going to do that, you better get a bread machine because I'm not needing any bread. So I ordered a bread machine. And sure enough, we started eating and liking the bread. Then it kept coming to me about Joseph and the 7 years of plenty, followed by the 7 years of famine, and what fed them was wheat. And it began to come to me that this is God's famine food. Not corn, not rice, not beans, but wheat. Long story short, started Joseph's Kitchen. I'm too busy. I got to do oil in Israel. I got to do other things. So I gave it to my daughter, Leslie, and she's done a wonderful job with it. And here's what you want to do. You want to get a machine package, this guy right here, okay? That gives you the grinder. So you put the wheat berries in it, push a button. 30 seconds later, you have wheat flour, whole wheat flour, living wheat flour with all of the nutrients in it. Put that into a bread machine. 5 or 6 other ingredients, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes, or 2 hours, 40 minutes later, you have a nice hot steaming loaf of whole wheat bread. And I've discovered if I eat one in the morning and one in the afternoon, I'm satisfied. I mean, I could work, I can play racquetball, everything I need. And that's about $1,000 a person per year. You can't, I don't know of another way to feed a person with good, wholesome, whole wheat food, $1,000 a year. Because most of your long-term storage places, you're talking $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. At Joseph Kitchen, you can feed one person for a year for actually under $1,000. So once you get the machine package, then you decide, do you want to get food for one person a year, 2 people a year, 4 people a year, 6 people a year, and it comes in pails. It's nitrogen packed. It's probably going to be good for 25 years. And I think that's the reason God calls us wheat, because the primary food that the human body, by God, has been designed to eat is wheat. So I encourage you to go there. This is what my bread looks like, wheat, whole wheat bread. Then you go to Pastor Massey in 2022, and he saw that Joseph, he says, yeah, the real Joseph, as in the Joseph of the pyramids, came to him in a dream. And I had been asking the Lord to speak to him. He says, so he came to me in a dream, and he said, get prepared. My father told me to go get the wheat in this dream. When I went to get the wheat, there was no more wheat. There's going to be a food shortage, it was told. I was impressed that I should get a bag of wheat and a grinder for it. I also saw that all of the 18-wheeler trucks will one day stop. Well, Coverstone saw that all of the boats stop. So you get all of the boats stop, all of the 18-wheelers stop, and yeah, there's going to be some people starving to death. I'm telling you, go to josephkitchen.com, get yourself some good, wholesome, whole wheat bread and the fixings thereof. Then Jason Meeks had a dream. He said, in the dream, I was at a local deli here where I eat sometimes. My meal was about $13, and I made the usual order, but all of a sudden, it cost $75. In other words, as I recall, I multiplied that up. That's a 5-time increase in price. We've never seen that. I think that's coming. I think that's what we've been warned of. A person I was meeting at the deli came in, and it was also $75. The staff said that both of the meals would be a total of $150. Then David Phillips had another dream. I had a dream within a dream that I was driving, remembering a dream that I had before about God telling me to buy food. I recall being surprised at the time because I thought I had already purchased some food, but apparently it wasn't enough. I think that's a word to probably all of us. If you think you've got everything you're going to need, I think it's the Lord saying, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have enough. So I was thinking about the dream while driving and gathering other preparations. Next, I had another dream within a dream that Stan called me and said he had to drive all over the state to another state on the same day, something having to do with money. He was busy with another teammate, sending out the largest check he'd ever written to buy food. I think it's a hint. It's a hint saying, brothers and sisters, if you've got some extra money, a good place to put it would be food. Remember, Henry Kissinger, who just recently died, he who controls food supply controls the people. Who controls the energy can control whole continents, and who controls money can control the world. So I recommend you go to prophecyclubgold.com. Now, these folks, and by the way, there's no fuss, there's no argument of switching gold sponsors, okay? It's not a problem. It's just that these guys specialize in helping you to get your IRAs or your 401ks into physically held gold and silver and precious metals. Anyway, so yes, go to prophecyclubgold.com and they can help you get your gold and your silver. Byron Surley, 2020. In this vision, the talk radio show's host became very serious in his tone and stated it was being reported that several large cities were in a lockdown. You know, there's already been rumors about a new virus coming out. Of course, we're heading to a new election, so that makes sense that a new virus would come out. People are being ordered to stay inside their homes or apartments. I saw what looked like a riot taking place. Parking lots jammed with people, vehicles, car doors left wide open. People all over wildly running about. I watched people running as fast as they could in almost every direction, screaming and shouting hysterically. I was observing complete and utter chaos and hysteria. Not one person was calm. All were running about yelling, screaming, and crying. I asked, what's going on? The National Guard were planning martial law order, advising everyone that they have to stay in their homes. So if you're told to stay in your home and it lasts 6 months, like the earlier prophecy said, do you have what it takes for you not to leave the walls of your home for 6 months? If not, you better start making plans. Everyone had to stay in their homes. He told me that nearly all of the store shelves were empty of food, water, and other goods. He said that the people in the stores were acting like crazed, rabid animals, throwing cans of food at each other and stealing each other's carts. I went in and it was complete chaos and wild fighting. People at the checkout lines were yelling, screaming at the cashiers because their debit and credit cards were not working in the machines and they had no cash. People began to bypass the registers and just run out of the stores without paying for the food in their carts. I saw people attacking people who were running out with food. Waiting mobs of people grabbed and beat the people who were leaving the store with food, taking all their food and leaving the people injured and lying on the ground. Shelves emptied in minutes, like a pack of ravenous wolves or frenzied sharks fighting over food. It was unbelievable to watch this take place. Everything in the store was totally destroyed. The doors were pulled off the refrigerated and freezer sections and broken and thrown all over the floor. Shelving units were pushed over, knocked down, and broken up. There was no food left at all anywhere on any shelves. Everything was totally gone, completely wiped out. Now, understand, our objective is to please the Lord. Our objective is not to try to live through the 7-year tribulation. At least that's not mine. My objective is to try to win as many souls as I possibly can. During this time, if you have made preparations for you, and especially for you in your neighborhood, which I'd recommend, you're going to be able to help them. They're going to start listening to you. You're going to have some opportunities to lead them to the Lord in this trouble. Right now, everything's fine. They don't think they need Jesus, but in this time, they're going to start thinking, okay, maybe I need to look at this Jesus guy. Maybe I need to consider it. That's where you want to be. People have begun running back into the stockroom in search of food as the store was now cleared out. They began tearing all the boxes and pallets apart, looking for food. Many of the boxes contained paper products and cleaning supplies, but all that was thrown aside because the people were in a mad frenzy looking for any boxes containing food. Food, food, food. I saw them find and take even pet food because it was food. They acted like they hit the jackpot when they found dog food. Dog food. Have we reached the point, or are we about to reach the point where people are ready to eat dog food? Well, if you get hungry enough, they say you'll eat dog food. I saw some people from local churches with a terrified look on their face, crying because they were too late and there was nothing left. Why didn't you get prepared for this? After all, many watchmen have been warning for years what was to come. I thought we would be gone before anything bad happened. I should have listened, they said. People were fighting over what little remained. We began to hear gunshots. Bullets began flying everywhere, and many people were being hit. No one came to their aid. They were left on the floor, bleeding, injured, or dying. Other people were taking food items from the people who had been shot, and they were running out of the store. The clerks, they'd all run away from fear for their lives. People were taking anything that was not tied down. We've sort of already seen that, but just not with food. Walmart was a war zone. Gun battles in the store and the parking lot. People dead or dying. I saw people run into TJ Maxx and the dollar store to their small food sections. People even ran into the movie theater and were fighting over the popcorn and the candy. It seemed as if in 1 hour, what did Philip say? He said he saw instantly, no warning, in 1 hour, everything had gone from normal to complete and utter chaos and insanity. I was then reminded by the Lord that He told me many times over the past years that this would be the case, that life as we knew it would change suddenly, instantly, and that most would not be prepared. I saw National Guard vehicles arriving. They quickly swooped in and shot anyone that was seen holding a weapon. The clampdown had begun, and no one would be allowed on the street. Everyone must stay inside or be shot. As the vision ended, I heard the Lord say, "Why have you not prepared?" Jason Meeks, 2021. Stan and I with 20 other people were in the back of a grocery store, and the group walked from the back into the main store to purchase some Tang, which should have cost about $1, but the price now, $5.99. We saw the prices of goods on the shelf were at least 30 to 40% higher than last week. We all bought the item and headed back, but instead of it being full of stock and merchandise, the shelves are now cleaned out. There were crackers, canned goods, non-perishable food items, all kinds of random items, all new. One man was selling the goods at super high prices, not trying to cheat people, just trying to help his family survive. This was his only job, just reselling items he had recently purchased to try to make a little profit. Sandy Steinbook, 2021. She says, "I'm not a prophetic person. I don't get dreams. I'm just a normal person, normal life. I have kids, a husband, a dog, a family. I enjoy life, and I don't know why I received these dreams." She says, "I walked into a Walmart, and all the grocery stores were bare. Everywhere. I walked through several sections. There was no food. There was no food at all in the whole store. There were cleaning supplies, mops hanging up, but there was no food. All the food in the grocery section, gone. I was in disbelief because I couldn't believe in America all the food was gone from Walmart. That fast. I hope you heard that fast. That's what I kept feeling. I can't believe the food has gone that fast from Walmart. It was just gone so fast. There was nothing else left. It was so vivid in my mind. I just believe God gives us warnings through dreams. Here's some headlines. Prophet John Paul Jackson. Headlines: food prices lead nations escalating inflation woes. Blight in grains. Remember, we just had Vicky Parnell, where I read part of that, and where they're actually going to poison the grains. Blight in grains spreading. Drought continues to cause prayer to rise. Record high temps accompany record drought swept south. Demand for classic seeds skyrocket. Cisco and Kraft considers guards on delivery trucks add food nears 40% of the family budget. So I'd suggest if you need storage food, go to josephkitchen.com. If you need one of these devices so that your car will start, so that your computers won't be fried when the suitcase, when you got 34 different dreams and visions and audible voices and angel visits saying there's suitcase nukes in America, they're here and they're going to go off. And they're probably going to go off close enough to bother you. But you can have your car still shot. Go to empshield.com. Prophecy is the promo code. Get you a $50 discount, and it helps your Prophecy Club. If you need silver to make car payments, house payments, convert to whatever it takes, then Shane said silver will skyrocket. Now, we're not giving financial advice. This is just a program on Bible prophecy. And we are getting close to Christmas, so let me wish you a merry, merry, happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And by the way, we still say Christmas around here. We don't put up a Christmas tree, by the way. If you don't know about that, then I'd recommend you go watch my Sunday sermon this past Sunday. I talk about the Christmas trees and Santa and how that's all pagan and that Christians should not be doing that. Let's talk about Joseph's Kitchen. I actually cooked this loaf of bread you're seeing here. Takes me about 10 minutes to put the ingredients together, put it into a bread machine, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, I get a loaf of bread out like that. Now, if you cut that loaf of bread that weighs about 3 pounds, the loaves you get in the store have most of the good stuff removed. The loaves you get in the store are about a pound. That's 3 pounds because it's got the good stuff still in it. Cut that into 14 slices, and if I eat a slice in the morning and the afternoon, I'm satisfied. So on that basis, one loaf can sustain, I didn't say it's everything we want, can sustain one person for a week. Based upon that, it'll get you excellent nutrition. It tastes good, long storage life, 10 minutes to combine the ingredients, 2 hours, 20 minutes to make it. Other wheat that you order arrives in paper bags, which means bugs, rice, humidity can get a hold of it and ruin it. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they send it out in 100 mil thick buckets. Gives you long shelf life. It's stackable. It's nitrogen infuses that hopefully gives it much longer shelf life, kills bugs and things like that. Easily resealable, keep in a climate-controlled area. And they have it in stock. This is a picture, an actual picture of part of the warehouse. Here's another picture of these. Actually, each one of those boxes holds 2,500 pounds of wheat. And I think they've got 54 of those boxes, a bunch of them. So Joseph's Kitchen can ship it to you right now. You go to most of these places, they say out of stock. So here's what you want to do. Everybody needs to get a machine package. These are the things that you need to grind the wheat berries. Put them into a grinder. 30 seconds later, you have flour. You put that into the bread machine along with 6 other ingredients. Push about 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have a nice hot loaf of whole wheat bread. Then you have to decide how much food you want. You want food 2 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. And if you want to make certain you have it when the electricity goes down, you can also get yourself a solar generator, all at josephskitchen.com. josephskitchen.com. So what is an EMP Shield device? It's a device you can put on your car and your house that in an EMP attack is supposed to stop the attack. And if you go to empshield.com and if you use the promo code prophecy, they give you a $50 discount. They also have videos up there Shows you how to install it on your car and your house and everything, and it's not difficult at all. I've got one of them right here. Red goes to red, black goes to black, green goes to the car, body of your car, and you just peel it off the back, stick it under there. Got another device that goes on your house. So, not complicated. Take you about 10 minutes to put them in. So, empshield.com, promo code is prophecy.